All right. Hello, guys. It's me. I promised a video, so here we go. First, let's clear our calculator. Second plus 712. All right, it's clear. And there are a few problems that I suggested we do in class, so we're going to work on that right now. I'm going to skip over some of them so that we can get to the main ones, and then we'll come back. So, we're going to start with number 4. All right, we're starting with number 4. Number 4 says, which equation, right? So it wants the equation, best represents the graph. All right, and there are a couple of ways we could do it. I think in class I told you to choose a couple of points, right? And put it in a table, right? You can always put it in an XY table. This point here, the X is -7. The Y is -8. Here, the X is 0. The Y is -3. Here, the X is 7 and the Y is 2. You could always put this in the calculator, stat, enter, right? And then put your X values in L1, Y values in L2, and then hit stat, go over to calc for linear regression, press enter, and it'll give you an equation. What you want to pay attention to is the A, because remember that's the slope, and then that'll help you narrow down which one of these we're working with. If it gives you the, which it will, it'll give it to you in decimal form. Right, it gives you this whole 0.7142, all of that. I'm trying to find a way to copy that. All right, we're just gonna write it here. It was 0.7142857. Yeah. We're just gonna leave it here because it starts repeating here. So if we put this in the calculator, if I quit this out and put 0.71428, math, enter. Oh no. I'm trying to turn this into a decimal. But either way, even if this doesn't work, go in your calculator, put 7 over 5, right? Is that 0.71 blah, blah, blah? No. But 5 over 7, it is. Therefore, we know our answer choices we should be looking at is C and D, not A and B, so we can cross those two out, right? And then the answer is between these two. How do we figure out whether we're dealing with C or D? We have to remember how to write this as a point. So basically, we got to write them as an ordered pair. If we look here, we got to take the opposite. So our X here would be -7. Our Y here would be -2. And here our X would be +7 and our Y would be +2. So which one of these is on the line? This just so happens to be the 0.72. So our answer is D. Now, I want to show you another way to do it. I didn't mention this in many classes, but I wanted to get to it. If you don't remember this, right, something else you can do is you can solve for Y in each of these problems, right? So solve for Y by subtracting here by 2. If you subtract 2 here, subtract 2 here, that'll cancel. And then do this here, you would end up adding 2 to each side, right? So that cancels, subtract 2. And you may be like, how is that happening? Because when I subtract 2 here, subtract 2 here, this cancels, and then I'm just left with it over here. Here you add 2, this cancels, and you're left with your Y, right? So what you can do is take your calculator and plug these into your Y equals. So this would become, for instance, 7 over 5, parentheses, X plus 7, close parentheses, -2. And if I go ahead and press graph, I can compare and see, does this graph look like this graph? Here, the x-intercept is over here. The y-intercept is up here. Not the same, so we know it's not A. And we can just go through and check each one. This is 5 over 7, parentheses, x minus 7, close parentheses, plus 2. Press graph. And what do you notice? But that they cross and they intersect exactly where this graph intersects. That's why D is the answer. So that's 2 ways that you can solve number 4. The answer is D. All right, the answer is D. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. So with number 6, this one, make sure we can see this. All right, number 6, it says the table shows the amount of pet food in cups remaining in an automatic feed as a function of the excuse me, number of meals the feeder has dispensed. Based on the table, write the function, right? What is it asking? Write the function that models the situation. We have a table here. Whenever you see a table, it's asking you to write a function. Calculator, 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 right? So we're gonna, the first step is gonna be to go to stat, enter, right? So here we go to stat, enter, and we're going to clear out. Don't forget how to clear. All right, go to your L1, plug in all your X values. Then in L2, plug in all your Y values. And then press stat, go over to calc, press 4. And it looks like it's given us an A of -3, a B of 24, in that form of y equals ax plus b, which we know is the same as y equals mx plus b. So that's y equals -3x plus 24. Now your answer choice could be in any form, but from here we can easily go to standard form by just adding 3x to each side. So then we would have 3x plus y equals 24. So that's number 6. If you need to rewind this because I'm going fast, that is completely fine. All right. Next one. Let's look at number 9. All right, let's look at number 9. All right, trying to make sure you guys can see this. All right, so this one is talking about researchers in Antarctica discovered a warm sea current under a glacier that is causing the glacier to melt. The ice shelf of the glacier had a thickness of approximately 450 meters when it was first discovered. The thickness of the ice shelf is decreasing at an average rate of 0.06 meters per day. Whenever you see something that says this per something, that whatever's after that per is probably your X. So here, our X is days. What's attached to days? The 0.06 meters. It says it's decreasing, so that's negative. And we know this glacier starts when it's discovered. We can't talk about before it was discovered. All we can talk about is right now. When it was discovered, the thickness of it was 450 meters. So this is really telling us the beginning point, starting point, y-intercept. Think B or y-intercept, okay? So this, when we talk about rate, think slope, right? Decreasing, that's why it's negative. So we can easily put this in slope-intercept form or the reverse. So since we start with 450 and subtract 0.06 meters per day, we can write it this way. Or we can turn it around and write it in slope-intercept form as negative 0.06x plus 450. Either one of those work, right? And that's what we were asked to do, write a function. We did. It says x is days. So even if we didn't know what x was, it told us that x was days. All right, hopefully that made some sense. Let's keep going. Okay, let's look at number 10. Let's look at number 10. It says the graph of the linear function k passes through the points -7, 0, and 1, 8. So this is our supporting information. It says which statement is true? All right, we got a couple of statements being made, but what I want you to notice first is note this -7, 0. If 0 is one of the coordinates in the ordered pair, that means it's an intercept. And since we have the x value, this means this is an x-intercept. So it says which statement is true. Are any of the statements saying that the x-intercept is 0? I'm sorry, the x-intercept is -7? Because if so, that's a fact, right? So it looks like D is saying that the x-intercept is -7. C says the 0 of K is 7. 0 is also the x-intercept. You may want to make yourself a note, because it's trying to act like we don't know, but we do. We know this is the x-intercept. So here, the answer is D. And if we didn't know, we could easily plot these 2 points on the graph, draw a line so we can see what's going on. All right, let's go to the next problem. Let's go to 13. All right, number 13 says, which graph best represents -3x plus 5y equals -15? And something we have to remember about this is that if we want to graph this, we can do it a couple of ways. We can turn it into slope-intercept form, which many of us know how to do. So, or we can just find the intercepts. There's no right or wrong answer here. It's about your preference. I'm going to show you how to solve for y. Many of us know how to do that. And if you don't, no stress. So this here, we would add 3x to each side. And this is 5y equals 3x minus 15. And then from here, we can divide by 5 on each side. And y is equal to 3 over 5x minus 3. What does that mean? Well, -3 is the y-intercept, and 3 over 5 is the slope. So we can use these two things to figure out which one of these is our graph. Number 1, C and D don't even have a y-intercept of -3, so they're not in the running. So it's between A and B. Note how A has a negative slope, B has a positive slope. This is a positive slope, right? This is a positive slope. What does that mean? The answer has to be B. All right, that's one way. Another way is we could just find our intercepts, the x and y intercepts. Don't forget, in order to do that, we have to basically, for the x-intercept, cover the y term. And so we have -3x equals -15. And we solve for x by dividing by -3. When we divide by -3, we have x equals 5. Now, which one of these has an x-intercept of 5? Only B. So we know that's the answer. Now, if we want to finish it, we would cover the x term to find the y-intercept. So that's 5y equals -15. And from here, we solve for y. So we have y equals -3, which confirms that B is our answer. Okay? All right. Let's look at 14, okay? Let's look at 14. Now, these ones, we're going to use the calculator. It says write an equation in slope-intercept form. This is perfect for the calculator because the calculator automatically gives us slope-intercept form. It gives us these 2 points. Remember, anytime we're given 2 points, we can put in an XY table. For this point, the x is -26 and the y is -11. For this point, our x is 39 and our y is 34. Pull out your calculator, go to stat, enter, and we're going to plug in our values for x into L1, plug in our values for y into L2, right? From here, stat, go over to calc, press 4, enter, and what do we have? but that y is equal to 0.692307. We're going to stop right there. X plus 7. And we have our equation in slope-intercept form. Now, for number 15, it says a line has a slope of 2 and a y-intercept of -3/4. Write an equation, right, in standard form. Don't forget standard form. It's on your resource sheet. You'll have it tomorrow on the test. But that's standard form, right? Now, the fact that they gave us our slope is 2. That's the M. And our y-intercept is -3/4. That's our B. We can put this in slope-intercept form. That's that y equals mx plus b form. So this will be y equals 2x minus 3/4. Now, because we want it in standard form, x and y both need to be on the left side of the equation. So all that means is that we're going to, can't find my favorite one, but it's okay. All right, we're going to move this 2x over here with the y. And we're going to do that by subtracting 2x from each side. All right, this cancels. Excuse me. We have -2x plus y equals -3/4. Now, this is not technically standard form because the a is not positive. It is whole. So we just switch all the signs, right, to make it positive. And that's the same as multiplying this equation by -1. Now, this fraction is bothersome. I doubt they give you an answer choice where the fraction is going to be over, like, basically there's going to be a fraction here. So what we can do is we can multiply by 4 to get rid of the fraction altogether. It's not that this is wrong. It's just that you may need to see what the answer would be. So multiply everything by 4. And what happens? 4 times 2x is 8x. Minus 4 times y is 4y. And 3/4 times 4 is 3. And then we have our answer or our equation in standard form. All right, now 16. Okay, 16 is asking what equation of the line passes through the points right here, right? So this is supporting. This is the main idea. We want an equation. It doesn't tell us how it wants us to write the equation, so we kind of got free will here. I'm going to plug it in the calculator. So stat, edit. Make sure you clear out your L1, L2. And that's 3, -3 here. How do I know that? I'm sorry, jumping the gun here. I'm just putting it in the table here like that. So we know, and the x is 3, -3, and then the y, or L2, is our -3s. So we just plug that in. And then what? Stat, calc, right? 4, and enter. What does it tell us? But that our equation here should be y equals 0x minus 3. 0x is just 0. So this is y equals -3. And honestly, we just need to leave it like this because writing in all the forms is just, no, it's this. Y equals -3. All right, now to the back side, 25 and 26. These two are pretty simple. You can do it however you like, whatever works for you. But if y varies directly as x, right, and y equals 15 when x is 9, then find y when x is 3. A lot of people like to do this as a proportion. I'm totally cool with that. So this would be 15 over 9, right? So we put basically our y's go up top, our x's go on the bottom. And then over here, you put the same thing, but we don't know the y because we want to know it. Put that over 3. So from here, we do some cross multiplying. And this is where the calculator comes in, right? 15 times 3 is 45, right? So 9 times y is 9y. Solve for y by dividing by 9 on each side, and y is equal to 5. So there we go. Now, we do the same thing for 26. And if you do this differently, it's okay. I know Mr. Meza and Mr. Beard taught you guys whatever way they taught you, and it's right. Okay? So just do it the way you know and check to see if your answer is the same as what I got. All right. Here, same type of thing, right? We're going to put y's on the top, x's on the bottom. It says y equals 3 when x equals 5. Right? So here, we need to find y when x is 15. So here's a matter of cross multiplication. Is this the same problem? It almost looks like it. So this is 5y equals 45. Divide by 5, and y is equal to 9. Y is equal to 9. Now what I'm going to do is upload this video. I'm going to also upload the answer sheets. I am not working out the whole thing, but if you have questions, just let me know.